A lot of people dream of making $1 million. They want to call themselves millionaires. It's a big deal in our society. But what if I told you it's actually not that difficult to make $1 million? It does take something that you may not have. And I'm not talking about money. Not that long ago, a guy who works the front desk at one of the gyms I work out at asked me, Nico, how do I get to $1 million? How do I make $1 million? What do I have to invest in? What are the specifics? How long does it take? How much should I invest, etc.? All great questions. So I said, well, let's start from the beginning. What to invest in? You got to put your money in the stock market because that's where you're going to get the greatest return. Invest in the market. Now, the S&P 500 is a list of the 500 largest, most well-capitalized, most popular, most well-known, most traded, biggest companies in America. It's a safe place to put your money because it's very diversified, and we have lots of data on its performance. It makes about 12% a year. Here's a chart of the S&P. Now look at that chart. How nice would that be if your net worth mimicked that chart? Lower left to upper right. It's a gorgeous chart. So the next question was, okay, how much do I have to invest in the S&P 500? Well, the answer is however much you can. The more money you put in, the more you're going to have and the quicker you're going to have it. But I like to use a number that I think everyone has, what I'll call the magic number, and that's $500. I think most people have $500 left over at the end of every month. I hope you do. If you don't, you probably need to make more money or cut your expenses or both. But let's take $500, a reasonable amount of money. You invest $500 at the end of every month into the S&P 500, and you will be a millionaire in, there it is, 25 years. You'll have just over $1 million in 25 years. Now, if you look at the chart, you'll see that greenish line at the bottom. Those are your total contributions. It's not a whole lot of money that you're putting in. But that orange line that goes up exponentially is the money that the market is paying you. That's the interest you're making. Here's another chart that shows it. If you look to the right, you'll see you start with $500. Your total contributions over 25 years are only $150,000. That's not a whole lot of cash. But look at the interest earned, $833,000. So on your way to $1 million, you're going to make almost $1 million from the market itself. All you have to do is invest $150,000. And what I like about this system is you don't need a big chunk of money. You don't need $150,000. You just need increments of $500 every month. Something I think most people can do. Let me show you the investment schedule. This is what we call the investment schedule or the accumulation schedule. You look at year one, okay, $500 times 12 months in a year is $6,500. Not a whole lot. Look, you earned $417 in interest. But look at year two, you're up to $1,200, over $1,200. All right, so it doubled. You're making $800 that year plus the original $4 you had. And if you'll notice, as you go down that column, it just grows exponentially. This is the power of compounding. By year 24, you have $102,000. At year 25, it's almost 117. That means you made $15,000 in 1 year. Again, not investing big chunks of money, just slow and steady. $500 a month, year in and year out, month in, month out. Something most people can do. Over time, you get to $1 million. Now, remember at the beginning of this video, I said, there's a way that you can make $1 million, but it's going to take something you may not have, and I'm not talking about money. What I was talking about is patience. It takes a little time. It's tough to make money. You want to be a millionaire? It's difficult. It's not going to happen overnight. Most people never make this kind of money for a reason. It's not because they're broke. It's because they just don't do the simple things, the small things, and they don't have the patience to wait. Timing is everything. If you want to be rich, it's not necessarily about how much money you're investing. It's about how much time you have to invest. So think about my example. If you start at 20 years old, you'll be a millionaire at 45. If you start at 40 years old, you'll be a millionaire at 65, which is government retirement age. If you're 70, well, I can't really help you there. But as you can see, the more time you have to invest, the more money you're going to have, and you'll have it at a younger age. Now, when I was in my 20s, I didn't invest. I was in Iraq and Afghanistan. The last thing on my mind was investing money or preparing for the future. But when I got out, I worked at the Pentagon. And not far from the Pentagon was a Walmart. And I remember going into that Walmart and seeing a woman who must have been 80 years old. She looked like she had a foot in the grave. She's freaking old. And she was working as a greeter at Walmart. And that's when I said to myself, Nico, you need to prepare for the future, buddy. You better start investing in something. Because I don't want to be 80 years old working as a greeter at Walmart. Do you?